Well, hey everyone, this is Mr. Pearson, and we are going to talk about the different types of sentences that you might come across in your reading and in your writing. Well, to start us off, let's go over some of the vocabulary that you're going to see in this video. The first one is statement. Second is command. Third is question. And fourth is exclamation. And as we go through this lesson, you'll come to understand what those words are talking about. Well, the first type of sentence is a statement. And a statement is a type of sentence. It tells you something. And a statement begins with a capital letter, and they're always going to end with a period. A statement is also known as a declarative sentence because it is telling or declaring something. Now, here are some examples of a statement sentence. Remember, a statement sentence begins with a capital letter and ends with a punctuation, and it simply is telling you something. The brown cat caught a mouse. The pizza was delicious. And my brother likes to read books. So that type of sentence is called a statement. It begins with a capital letter, it tells you something, and it ends with a period. Next we have a question. A question is a sentence that asks something. A question begins with a capital letter, just like every other type of sentence, and this one ends with a question mark. A question is also known as an interrogative sentence because it's asking or interrogating, which is just a fancy word, another word for asking something. And some examples of questions, remember they begin with capital letters and they end with question marks, would be, what do you want to eat at lunch? Where are my shoes? And have you ever seen a monkey play a game? So a question is a sentence that is asking something, begins with a capital letter, and it ends with a question mark. Another type of sentence that we have is a command. And a command is a sentence that tells someone to do something. A command, just like other sentences, begins with a capital letter and also ends with a period, just like a statement sentence. But this one, instead of just telling you something, it's telling you to do something. A command is also known as an imperative sentence because it's telling someone to do something. And some examples of a command sentence, remember, they begin with capital letters and they end with punctuation, and they tell you to do something, would be like this. Go upstairs and get your jacket. Turn in your papers when you are finished working, and throw your trash away when you clean up. Now, in each of those examples, you notice that they were telling the reader to do something. They began with a capital letter, and they ended with punctuation. And finally, the fourth type of sentence is an exclamation. An exclamation is a sentence that shows strong feeling like excitement, surprise, or fear. An exclamation begins with a capital letter, just like every other type of sentence, and this one ends with an exclamation point. An exclamation is also known as an exclamatory sentence because it is exclaiming something with feeling. Some examples of an exclamation, again, they begin with capital letters, they end with punctuation, and they express some type of feeling. So here are some examples. That ride was crazy. I need some help. And a huge dog is chasing me. Now, let's play a little game. I'm going to read a sentence, and I want you to tell me if you know what type of sentence we are talking about. Remember, we have commands, we have statements, we have questions, and we have exclamations. So here is the first one. Take the dog for a walk. If you said that was a command because you're being told to take the dog for a walk, you are correct. Okay, the next one. What type of sentence is this? Where is the dog's leash? And if you said that was a question, you would be correct because it's asking a question and it ends with a question mark. The dog barks at squirrels. Look closely at that sentence. What type is it? If you said statement, you would be correct. It begins with a capital letter. It tells us something, and it ends with a period. That squirrel is scary. If you said exclamation, you are correct. Begins with a capital letter, expresses a feeling, in this case, fear, and it has an exclamation mark at the end. The ice cream melted in the sun. If you said statement, you would be correct because it's telling you what happened to the ice cream. I don't want a valuable lime lesson. I just want an ice cream. What type of sentence is that? If you said exclamation, you would be correct. They begin with capital letters. They're expressing a feeling, and they end with exclamation marks. Why is your hand sticky? If you said that this sentence was a question because it's asking about why the hand is sticky, you would be correct. Also, it ends with a question mark. And finally, please go wash your hands. If you said this sentence was a command, you would be correct because you are being instructed or being told to go wash your hands, probably because they're sticky from the melted ice cream. I hope you learned a valuable lime lesson there. All right, quickly, as a review, we learned 4 types of sentences today. We learned a statement, which tells us something. We learned a command, which tells us to do something. Both a statement and a command begin with capital letters and end with periods as punctuation. Then we learned about a question, which asks something and ends with a question mark. And finally, exclamation, which begins with a capital letter, expresses some type of feeling, and ends with an exclamation mark. Well, again, my name is Mr. Pearson. Thank you for learning about the 4 types of sentences with me. I hope you found this video helpful, and we'll see you next time in another video.